Okay, the next questions are 1-minute questions. How could you streamline your office to save the taxpayer money? We'll start with the ladies over here. Christina, you want to go first, and then Lupe?
I'll go ahead and tell you what I have done. Since February 1st, 2021, there was a huge turnover rate. It's dropped from 66% to 21% in this office. So when you're constantly looking at the turnover rate, we're utilizing those taxpayer dollars. And I'm looking for bettering you. We're also the taxpayers as well. So I want us to continue to work together so that I've lowered our budget. I've lowered, especially the traveling budget. County clerks are only required to do 20 hours of continuing education hours. I already have a lot of that. So just to stay as your requirements, you just need 20 hours. So I'm not going above and beyond the 20 hours that we're required to hold. So that is, there you go. I keep leaving everything there.
Okay, with experience in management, you have to learn to live within your budgets. So we can probably do like a study just to make sure that the funds are appropriately being allocated for each department. If we need to move some of that around, also just be more efficient and use financial prudence to be able to do that. Eliminate waste, less department spending if that's possible. If that's feasible, that's something else that we can do. And then also the turnover rate, which that she just mentioned. So it's very important, that when you're a supervisor or a manager, that you utilize your resources efficiently and effectively. That way we can save you as a taxpayer money. Thank you.
Well, county courts at law, they run through about 1,500 misdemeanor cases a year, which is about 80% of what they do. We've already been figuring out ways to streamline things since the pandemic hit, which one of those is the Supreme Court gave us permission to do video conferencing. So I'm told that the Supreme Court's going to keep that going, which means we'll be able to use it into the future. And what that allows us to do is have hearings with lawyers from across the state, hearings with defendants who are out of state. We've been able to have hearings with the inmates in jail. So it saves us our jail time and resources from having to transport those people to and from the jailhouse, and leaves them able to do the duties that are needed out there because they're understaffed right now. Other than that, there's been talk of us going paperless, but we haven't been able to accomplish it yet. With improvements in technology, I think that's a way we could save some funds too. Thank you.
Well, the way that I think you can streamline your office most effectively is get to work, get after it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue the great example that Penny Roberts has set and the work ethic that she's put forth for all of her years serving our people and serving our county and our citizens. And I'll tell you, I have the experience from having been not just a prosecutor in one of the busiest district attorney's offices in the state of Texas, but I also have experience having handled cases from the other side, from the other end of the bench and from the other end of the aisle, to where you know when cases need to be pushed and when they don't need to be pushed and when things need to get moving as fast as possible. And that's the experience that I'm going to bring to help streamline that docket. Thank you.
Okay, the third question for each of the candidates. Are you pro-life? 30 seconds.
Am I pro-life? I appreciate this question. However, for me, I feel like this does not pertain to the office that I hold. And I wouldn't want to have anybody in this county feel uncomfortable with a personal belief that I have, as I am here to serve everybody in this county, every single constituent, and I would not want anybody to feel uncomfortable with a response. Thank you.
Okay, so one of the reasons I'm running is because during this time, well, with everything going on, it's time for conservatives, Christians to take a stand. So let me answer that question like this. Psalms 39, 13 and 14. For you created my inward being. You knit me in my mother's womb. I will praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that fully well. Thank you.
Let's take a little time.
All right.
All right. Are we pro-life? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
That's how to budget your time.
That's efficiency.
Efficiency right there. All right. These questions, let's go with the ladies first. These will be for our ladies. The county clerk questions. 1 minute. Okay. Lupe, what would be your method for ensuring that all court records stay up to date?
Okay, I don't know about you, but I use Outlook calendar quite a bit. But one way, of course, is to ensure that I myself, we're properly trained and all new staff are properly trained with all the timelines, deadlines that are given to us. Follow up with each department head on a daily basis to make sure that this is happening also, and review or monitor. Because I've done a lot of monitoring, just monitor to make sure that all these are getting filed timely and appropriately. So that's what I would do. Thank you.
Okay. Christina, how would you maintain, or how do you maintain the confidentiality and security of the information you work with?
Policies. You have to have your policies in place. My clerks are responsible for every single secure, vital, mental health. Those are secure and confidential records. So we have policies in place to ensure. So we need policies in place to ensure that our clerks understand the severity of all of our records. So, what I'm doing now, it's all for, we have to secure our records, and my clerks thoroughly know that. Thank you.
Okay, for a change of pace, we'll go to our county court at law. Fellas, Andrew, will your decisions be based on our United States Constitution?
Again, the simple and short answer to that is absolutely yes. I got to get this a little higher. Yes, I will. I do base things upon the United States Constitution. That is the law of the land. That's the law that every single one of us as attorneys, when we took the oath of office, because you do actually as a lawyer, you swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. And by God, I'm going to do that. And you have to follow the law. You don't legislate from the bench. You follow that law, and you follow the law that our forefathers put forth oh so many years ago, and you do it proudly.
Okay, Leland, what do you perceive to be the greatest obstacles to justice, if any?
I would say the biggest obstacle to justice for us right now is the timeliness of it, getting cases before the judge in a timely manner. In the last 2 years, since the pandemic hit, misdemeanor crime has gone up about 30% each year as opposed to the normal years. The dispositions we've been able to have in court has gone down 20% each year. So I've actually had to add a file cabinet in my office to add all the files because we can't get them moved fast enough because of all the rules we've been operating under. So the obstacle, getting cases into court in a timely manner. And that's going to mean working through the backlog, which is going to take a lot of work on our part, whoever gets it, and all the courthouse personnel, probation officers, everybody in the system. Thank you.
Okay, Lupe, over here on the county clerk. How would you determine priorities when you have numerous tasks to do?
Again, I use Outlook calendar. So on a daily basis, at the beginning of the week, you list your tasks for that day, for that week, prioritize from your highest priority to your lowest priority, depending on your due dates. Usually I give myself a few days, schedule those on the calendar. That way I can have time to thoroughly review my work that I've completed to make sure it's all correct, there's no errors, just to keep me on track and just make my workflow, smoothly also. So it just depends on the complexity of your project also. If you have a bigger project, you're going to have to allocate more time on a daily basis and depending when it's due. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Okay, we're over here, right? Okay. Okay, well, y'all both answered together last time, so, all right. Oh, well, at one point, so. Okay, Andrew, what has been your greatest accomplishment in your legal career and your greatest one in your personal life?
I'll tell you, greatest achievement in 21 years of practicing law has, without a doubt, been the fact that I've been able to help so many people. I've been able to represent people. That includes not just representing the victims of crimes when I was a prosecutor, but having held the hand of some clients and talked to them across the table. We keep a box of Kleenex in my office in that conference room. My assistants here, and both my assistants are here, and they can attest to that. We deal with difficult things. The fact that I've been able to help people for 21 years in whatever role has been wonderful. As far as my personal life is concerned, I've been blessed to have the most wonderful family and just amazing people in my life. And I could not be more thankful and blessed for that. Thank you.
Okay, Leland, what is your biggest strength and what is your biggest weakness?
I would have to say my biggest strength is perseverance. As you go through life, you're going to get knocked down. Whether you get up, it's up to you, and I've always gotten up. There's always going to be obstacles you're going to run into, whether it's your work life, your personal life, whatever. What matters is what you find a way over them, through them, around them, or under them. I've always been a fan of one of the Marine slogans, which is improvise, adapt, and overcome. And whether it's working on the ranch, working in the office, in the courtroom, whatever, that's what you have to do sometimes. And that's what I do. As far as weaknesses, work-life balance. I've always been taught that you play after you work. Once all your chores are done, that's when you can go and do what you want to do. But I always look around and see there's always something more to do. And I'll go to the pool and pick up my kids and see my buddies sitting on the veranda having cocktails after they played 18 holes. I'm thinking, man, I'm doing something wrong. Thank you.
Okay, we will have one last question with the 1 minute, and then they each will get 2 minutes to sum it all up. Okay, for the county clerk ladies, for each of you, how would you define good service? Christina, we'll start with you.
Good service is, why did I just go blank? Communication. It's all about communication, and you also have to be receptive to correction. You have to have that, because you're going to have customers come in and they're not always going to be happy. But we have to stay humble and be receptive and help them, because this is your office, not mine. It's your office, and I'm just here to serve you. Thank you.
Okay, good service is just good, what it says. I would strive for excellent customer service. So when you have a customer right in front of you, that you're attentive, you're friendly, give them a smile. You don't know what they've been through. If they go to the vital statistics to pick up a death certificate, you know they're going through something. So always go over and beyond to serve those customers when they're right in front of you. Like I said, you don't know what their day's been like. So I would strive for excellent customer service, just to be there, be responsive to their needs, give them a smile, be polite, courteous. And like I said, that could be you on the other side. Anywhere you go, we're all customers everywhere we go. So we want to make sure that our needs are being met from the other person on the other side. Thank you.
For our judges, what is your general judicial philosophy? Andrew, we'll start with you.
My general judicial philosophy is, first and foremost, you follow that law. The law was written, it was enacted, you follow it. That's your job as a judge. It's not to legislate from the bench, it's to follow the law. You apply the facts to the law in your certain cases where you're making a decision, a factual decision, and you do it right. And you think about those people that are in front of you. You think about those human beings and those lives that you're holding in your hand. That's what you do. My general judicial philosophy is to follow the law, apply the law to the facts, and do your darndest to make the right decision for those people who are in front of you. Thank you.
We should have done the group answer again. No, my general philosophy on the law is to be firm but fair. Fair and impartial. The main interest in a judge is to follow the law, just like he was saying. I'm not a judicial activist either. I don't plan on legislating from the bench. If you want laws changed, or you want different punishment ranges, or you want to legalize something, take it up with Austin. I have nothing to do with that. I just take what Austin gives me and do my best to interpret it, and then make my ruling from the bench. Thank you.
Okay, we'll just go down the line. A 2-minute summary. Lupe, we'll start with you.
Okay, just a few things I didn't mention. I was the chairwoman for the Republican National Hispanic Assembly chapter for the last 2.5 years. And our mission was to get Hispanics, conservatives involved in this process, in the electoral process. Not just vote, but get more involved. If you're knowledgeable enough, you need to step outside your comfort zone, because that's what I'm doing right here. And like I said, with everything going on right now, we need to reclaim our government at all levels, starting here locally. We have to start here in our own backyard. So I plan to serve with integrity and have respect for all the staff, for all the customers that come into the office, and I plan to study as hard as I can. I know with real estate, which I just, with my real estate license I just obtained last year, I studied and studied, stayed up late. So that's what I intend to do, is to work hard to get up to speed with everything in the office, with all the departments that are there. So that's what I intend to do for the staff and for you as a taxpayer, and try our best to serve you with the utmost respect and dignity. Thank you.
Hello again. So my name is Christina Ubando. I was born and raised right here in Tom Green County. Started with the county in 2012. My son was only 9 years old. He'll be 19 this month. I come with experience, and that's in-depth experience in every single section in this office. So you have to keep that in mind whenever you have, this office is going to have 2 new judges that we are going to have to make sure that we get integrated and mainstream this office. We have Court at Law 2 and County Judge. You want somebody with experience in this office. I am that person. I have continuing education hours from the County and District Clerks Association, from the probate academies. I have extensive amount of hours. I am your person, and I hope and pray that you choose me on March 1st or early election. Thank you.
Well, thank you again for having us. We, pardon me, appreciate the Tea Party for allowing us to be here, and for all y'all folks who turned out. My name's Andrew Graves, and I'm asking for your vote for County Court at Law number 2 judge. This election is entirely, in this position, it is entirely about experience. It's entirely about qualifications. It's entirely about knowing that you have the confidence in the person that's going to don that black robe when you end up in front of that court, if you ever do, to make sure that you have the confidence that he or she, or in this case, he, will make the right decision that affects your life. I have experience in the District Attorney's office in Fort Worth, Texas. I have experience handling cases from the other side in criminal cases. That's valuable experience. But I also have experience handling the matters that you as a voter are most likely to end up in front of this court on, whether it's a probate, a real estate matter, a mid-level lawsuit, guardianship. Those are things that I've touched and I've dealt with in my career. And I'm the only candidate who's standing up here who has that experience. And that's why the San Angelo Police Officers PAC did choose to endorse me. And again, that's why I'm asking for your endorsement, and I respectfully request your vote on March 1st, or when Valentine's hits, you can start early voting. So thank you so much.
So when I started out on this campaign journey back in July, when I filed for office and made my announcement, I was having lunch with somebody not long after that, and they asked me, so why do you want to be a judge? Why do you want it? And I hadn't really formulated an answer, and he goes, you better figure it out because other people are going to be asking you. So it made me reflect on things. And the short answer is, I care. I care about the people in this community. I care about how y'all perceive how your courts run. If there's a person on the bench that's got integrity, that's going to do the right thing when the time comes. I care enough about it, about y'all and this court, that I've been a prosecutor here for the past 15 years. I like it when I get up and go to work. I know I'm making this a better place. Every decision I make, every case I take, I'm trying to make Tom Green County a better place. I'm still trying to do that, just from another seat in the courtroom. My name's Leland Lacey, and I'm asking for your vote for County Court at Law number 2. Thank you.
A great big thank you to all of our candidates. This will conclude our Tea Party. I want to again emphasize that these candidates will make themselves available if you want to ask questions. So please feel free to do so on a one-to-one basis. They'll be happy to visit with you. Again, just as a reminder, next month we will have the 30 by 30 land grab. please come to find out what that is, because it might affect your property and your water. Also, do want to thank Venora for getting all of our refreshments together. So please take advantage of the coffee, the water, and the cookies over there. So thank you so much for coming.